Hey guys, this is Julie from Crafty Beach on YouTube, and I have a fun Grinch Dollar Tree DIY. I'm going to use one of these little gnome stockings from the Dollar Tree for faux fur. I thought this would be a great source, and I can kind of make my own. I know you can buy the Grinch fur. I just made a Grinch snowman out of the stackable snowman, but I used up all my Grinch fur, so I needed to make mine. I'm just using some acrylic paint and a shade of green that I thought was really Grinchy and some hot water. I mix it together on a paper plate and then just soak my little beard in there, making sure I get it good and soaked, wringing it out because it was really, really wet. Now I'm going to start trying to comb it out. Combing it's really important because you don't want the paint to stick on the fur and make it stick together. And so I just comb it both directions, like up and down and side to side, and start drying that with my heat gun. But again, it is wet, so you're going to have to keep that in mind that you are going to have to allow some time for this to dry. But every step of the way, I tried to comb it to make it nice and soft. Now for the wreath for the Grinch arm. I'm using one of the candy cane wreaths from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to bend it out slightly to make it look more like a Grinch arm reaching. And then to cover it, I want it to look like a Santa suit. So I'm using one of the Dollar Tree red stockings, and I'm just cutting the fabric off of it. This part right here, the little boot part, like really kind of fits the candy cane part really well to cover that because I don't need to really cover the back at all. And so I'm just going to piece this one stocking together and make it work to cover the entire candy cane. Now, if you had some red plush ribbon, it'd be really easy to wrap it as well. I just go ahead and tie a hanger on there with some twine before I start working around it so it won't all be buried underneath all of this plush. And then I'm just going to use hot glue to glue it down. I just cut a little slit there for the hanger and just kind of glue it where it makes sense. You will have to cut it if you have to go around some edges like that, and just gluing that all down. Now the next piece, I can do quite a bit of it with one piece, and then I'll have to kind of piece in the bottom, but it's okay because it's all red plush, so it all kind of blends in pretty well together. And I want this to be one of the Grinch arm wreaths where like the Grinch in his Santa suit is reaching to steal a Christmas ornament. And so for this bottom part, I just have to be a little bit more creative. I try to cut it into some strips that I can use to wrap it here at the end. But otherwise, it was pretty easy to cover this with just that. You could also, I guess, use the Santa hat or any kind of red plush material. If you don't want it to be super plush like this, you could also use the chair cover from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm still working on drying this. As you can see, it's still pretty wet. But again, I'm just drying it with my heat gun and combing it as I go. And then to make the little Grinch hand, I just use my hand as a reference and very loosely drew that on there, not close to my finger, so I still have a little bit of space. And I want to kind of leave as much fur on there as possible, but I do want it to be a hand shape. Now to make it shapeable, I'm adding wire. This is just the floral wire from the Dollar Tree. It's not very thick or anything like that, but I just cut down one piece for each finger, and this is going to make it moldable so I can do that like grasping thing with the Grinch hand. And I'm only going to need one of these because you're not really going to be able to see the Grinch hand from underneath on the wreath. But to form the fingers, I just use some hot glue and I shape that around the wire by gluing it to itself like that. It's not going to be like a super big hand because the little beard wasn't very big and neither were my hands. But it's going to be the perfect size for the Grinch armor wreath. So I do that all the way around and I get this great little Grinch hand. I was so impressed with how this worked, dyeing my own faux fur, and it made it a lot cheaper too to be able to use an item like this from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to make the index finger and the thumb curve so they can like be holding the ornament and trim the fingers to match. I don't think I made mine going the right direction with my hand. And so I had to kind of reverse which one was the thumb on mine because I do need it to be going this direction like this. So keep that in mind when you're tracing out your hand. Use your other hand. I don't know what I was thinking. And I just glue that onto the wreath form. And then I use the top of that stocking for the white plush for the sleeve of the Santa arm, which is going to cover up, where they come together here and make it look really cute. I love how this turned out. It's going to look so cute on my door for Christmas. For the ornament, I found this great ornament at the Dollar Tree. It's red, it's swirly, kind of reminds me of Whoville. I think it's going to be perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and attach it here between the two fingers. And I just glued my fingers together with hot glue and just using the ornament string that came with it. A final fluff here of my Grinch fur, and here it is, my little Grinch arm wreath for Christmas. I hope you love it as much as I do.